This is the OTB Network.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. We have completed what will probably be the last big weekend of stakes racing from around the country. Thanksgiving weekend with Holiday Fest in New York, terrific Turf Festival out on the West Coast, as well as exciting racing to finish up the Churchill Downs meet. However, before we begin with those racetracks, we are going to head to the fairgrounds for their opening day card. On Thanksgiving, last Thursday, they ran the Thanksgiving Handicap, $75,000 for 3-year-olds and up, sprinting 6 furlongs. Let's head down to opening day's racing at the fairgrounds for the running of the Thanksgiving Handicap.
And they're off in the Thanksgiving Handicap to a picture-perfect start. Kid Cat has very good early speed, as does Bonaparte, who now takes the lead. And just behind them, Robin Deness comes away in third. Crucible fourth, but only 2 lengths off the lead. Little Expectations is outside of him, and Dixieland Diamond is the trailer, with 5 lengths to make up as they head toward the half-mile pole. Bonaparte, uncontested up top, leading it by a length. Robin Deness now moves into second. Little Expectations third. Kid Cat dropping out of it fourth. Crucible fifth, 4 lengths off the lead, 2 clear of Dixieland Diamond. 3 furlongs remaining. Bonaparte continues to dictate the terms. Robin Deness 3/4 of a length back second. Little Expectations 3 wide at the top of the stretch. Crucible has 3 lengths to make up, followed by Kid Cat and Dixieland Diamond. They're at the top of the lane. Bonaparte has something left, getting challenged by Robin Deness. These two will arrive at the 8th pole together. 2 back to Little Expectations in third, followed by Crucible in fourth. Final furlong, Bonaparte by a length and a half. Robin Deness fully extended, can't get to him. It's Bonaparte back to back in the Thanksgiving Handicap. He wins it for fun. Robin Deness second, photo for third goes to Crucible in a new stakes record time.
Bonaparte winning this for the 2nd consecutive year, and in fact, setting a new stakes record. He did so last year, dropped the record by a tick this time, picking up a very impressive 4+ length victory off the layoff he had not run since the Forego Handicap at the end of the Saratoga meeting. He beat Robin Deness by 4.5 lengths. That one gave chase just about every step of the way. He was coming out of a very good 2nd place finish behind Bet on Sunshine in the Phoenix Breeders' Cup Handicap down at Churchill Downs. Crucible, a regular competitor and sprinting from off the pace down at the fairgrounds, finishing in the 3rd spot. I do know that Crucible and Bonaparte generally run against one another throughout the entire winter. Their friend from last winter, Abajo, did not turn up in this year's Thanksgiving Handicap. The winner, Bonaparte, is a 5-year-old bay horse, a son of Sabona from Palova by Nijinsky. Bred in Kentucky by Dr. William O. Reed, he is owned by James and Dennis Richard, trained by Howard Alonso, and ridden to victory by Jerry Melanson. Bonaparte completes the 6 furlongs in new stakes record time, 1:08.3. Next, it's off to Churchill Downs for their final weekend of racing for the fall meeting, starting out with Thursday's running of the Falls City Handicap. This is a Grade 3 race with a $250,000 purse, but it drew a Grade 1 field for the 2nd consecutive year. 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares going 1 1/8 miles. Let's head to Churchill Downs now for the running of the Falls City.
Off and running in the Falls City. Miss Linda bounding out on top. Caressing broke well, joined by Forest Secrets on the far outside of Spain. The birdies wrangle back by Chavez at the rail now, then Prin Tom, and behind that comes Unbridled Lane. 6 lengths front to back with a lap left to go. It's Miss Linda in hand, leading it by just a neck, getting some pressure from Forest Secrets on the outside in second. Spain in some tight quarters on the inside is tracking nicely from third. Caressing has her pinned down at the moment. Then Unbridled Lane is next by 2 more, followed by Prin Tom and Chris McCarron settling down second last by 2. And the big DeBirdies at the back of the pack, 8 lengths off the pace, single file onto the backstretch. The opening quarter in a slow 24-1. It's Miss Linda with Richard Migliore doling out her speed in front, a length and a half. Forest Secrets a clear-cut second. Spain in third, Caressing fourth. Then Unbridled Lane next by 3 more to Prin Tom, still second last, and 2 back to DeBirdie, who trails. Midway up the backstretch they go. Miss Linda in charge by a length now to Forest Secrets in second. Spain still bottled up in third. Then Caressing's racing fourth by 2 to Unbridled Lane. Prin Tom still biding her time. Second last into Birdie. Yet to uncork her. Rally at the back. Half they picked it up. 48 and 4 around the turn. Forest Secrets turning up. Increasing heat now on Miss Linda. Caressing shaken up from third. Then Spain on the inside. Gets the question asked. Too farther back to Unbridled Lane. And she's shaken up now. 6 lengths off the pace. And Prin Tom's is asked by Chris McCarron to go. Whip comes out onto Birdie at the back of the pack in the stretch drive. Forest Secrets taking the lead now. Miss Linda set down for the drive in second. Whip out in earnest on Caressing. Unbridled Lane gets going on the far outside. Then Spain is full bore in Prin Tom. In deep stretch, it's Forest Secrets clear. And Forest Secrets rolling on to win the Fall City. Forest Secrets hangs in there to win by 2. Prin Tom got going late for second. Unbridled Lane was third, finishing fourth. Miss Linda in 1:49 and 2.
Forest Secrets, just when you think she's down and out, she reappears. Winner of the Acorn earlier this year in her first try in Stakes Company. Had tailed off a little bit, was given some time, and came back with a big upset here after edging inward. She urges forward under a stiff drive to pick up the victory over Prin Tom, whose connections decided to skip on the Breeders' Cup. Probably a fairly good move. She comes back here fresh, picks up a nice second place finish off a big wide 8-wide move at the top of the stretch. Unbridled Lane coming back off of a victory over her elders in the Breeders' Cup. Distaff picks up the third spot after a sluggish start under Pat Day. She is a stone-cold closer and did not quite get the pace she needed to make her big run. Favored in the in this field, she was a little bit disappointing, but she really does need to have a quick pace up front. Miss Linda, who was involved in the early fractions, held on for the fourth spot. The winner of Forest Secrets, a 3-year-old bay filly by Forest Wildcat from Garden Secrets by Time for a Change. Bred in Kentucky by William Patterson and James Glenn. She is owned by Debbie Oxley, trained by John Ward, and ridden to victory by Craig Perrette. Forest Secrets completes the mile in an eighth of the Fall City in 1:49 and 2. The Clark Handicap next. This is the regular day after Thanksgiving featured event, a Grade 2 $400,000 event for 3-year-olds and up, going a mile and an eighth. Let's head back to Churchill for the running of the Clark.
Off and running in the Clark. Picture perfect start. Storm Day out to take the early lead. Ubiquity flashing early speed, racing second, and Mr. Ross that joined the early leaders on the outside in third. And Tribunal tucks in fourth. Wood Moon moving up to the outside comes Include. And out of the box, he's hung out 4 wide around the opening turn, followed by Storm Day. Behind that comes Connected. And the Gray Gander, the early trailer. Around the clubhouse turn, Ubiquity and Craig Perrette in front, a half a length down at Dakota Hills, who hugs the inside rail in second. And Mr. Ross is stalking from third. Wood Moon, a clear cut fourth. Now Tribunal on the inside, saving ground in fifth. Include is sandwiched between him and out of the box, who's 3 wide. And a couple farther back to Storm Day, 7 lengths off the pace, followed by Connected. And the Gray Gander continues at the back, the quarter in 23 3/5 seconds. Up the backstretch they go, Ubiquity. 3 parts of a length in front now from Mr. Ross. They've drawn off by 2 to Dakota Hills, who's asked to keep up in third. Wood Moon is racing in fourth. Tribunal fifth. Include up between horses now, 6 lengths off the pace with out of the box to his outside. There goes the Gray Gander gaining fast on the extreme outside. Then it's Storm Day, and Connected remains at the back of the pack. 47 1 for the half around the far turn. Ubiquity still there in front by 1 now. Mr. Ross can't go with him from second. Wood Moon's racing in third, and Gander's on the far outside in fourth. Dakota Hills gets set down for the drive, and Include has got 7 to make up at this point. He's asked for run. Out of the boxes on the far outside, and Tribunal in the stretch drive. It's Ubiquity trying to go him all the way in front by a length and a half. Mr. Ross is racing second. Here comes Include, kicking it into high gear. Up the inside, far outside comes the Gray Gander. Then it's Wood Moon in with a fighting chance. And from the back of the pack, here comes Connected, and he's flying. Deep stretch still, Ubiquity. Include a final surge on the inside. Ubiquity, here comes Include. Ubiquity hangs in there. Ubiquity then included a tight photograph in the Clark.
Ubiquity, a bit of an upset here, as Ubiquity, last seen finishing second in Allowance Company in New York to Dayton Flyer, gets to the lead, never looks back at 20 to 1, holding off the late run of Include, who was down inside after settling down inside behind horses. He made a nice move, but was unable to catch Ubiquity. Mr. Ross, who ran just stalking the pace most of the way around, finishing a very good third after a little bit of a wide trip. Interesting in this race, Gander, who generally runs on or near the pace, who was expected to be one of the pace setters in this field, was taken back after a reasonably good start, taken back to run from way off the pace, but came up flat. He is a horse that has done his best running much, much closer to the pace of the race. The winner, Ubiquity, is a 4-year-old bay colt by Colonial Affair from Racing Queen by Ali Sheba. Bred in Kentucky by Kim Nardelli, he is now owned by Mr. and Mrs. Gary West and trained by Bill Mott. Ridden to victory by Craig Perret, who had a terrific weekend down at Churchill Downs. Ubiquity completes the mile and an eighth of the Grade 2 Clark in 1:48.1. Pair of stakes races close out the meet at Churchill Downs this past weekend, beginning with the Grade 2 Goldenrod for 2-year-old fillies going a mile and a 16th. Let's head back to Churchill for the running of Saturday's Goldenrod.
Off and running of the Goldenrod. It's an awkward start for Literary Light at the back of the pack early. Take Charge Lady broke on top, joined by Born to Dance to apply the pressure to the outside, and Literary Light moves up into third. A lot of Rhythms racing fourth and 4. Back to Belterra at the back of the pack around the first turn, and hooking up in a speed duel up here. Born to Dance and Take Charge Lady. Born to Dance takes over now, and Take Charge Lady and Tony D'Amico content to let her go on by 2 lengths. 2 back to Literary Light racing in third, then a lot of Rhythm, and Belterra continues at the back, single file out of the back stretch, 6 lengths front to back. The opening quarter in a quick 22 4/5 seconds for Born to Dance, and Calvin Burrell now nursing her speed. She's in front by a length and a quarter. Take Charge Lady will move off the fence to attack from second. Literary Light racing in third now. Belterra tugs her way up behind a wall of fillies, and a lot of Rhythm at the back of a bunched up field now, 5 lengths front to back. The opening half was 47 4/5 seconds. Born to Dance got a breather on the back stretch, 3 parts of a length in front. Take Charge Lady now turning up the heat from the outside, racing in second. Belterra bides her time in third to the inside of Literary Light, and a lot of Rhythm at the back of the pack around the turn still. Born to Dance in front by a head. Take Charge Lady looking to pounce, and she takes the lead now. Born to Dance tries to counter, not going with her in second. Belterra angled off the fence, and she rallies up in third, and a lot of Rhythms on the far side. A quarter mile to go. Take Charge Lady taking the lead. Belterra is coming fast to challenge on the outside. Take Charge Lady. Belterra is blowing on by to take the lead. Belterra takes over. Take Charge Lady can't go with her. 3 back to Lotta Rhythm third. It's Belterra drawing away through deep stretch. Belterra razor sharp in winning the Goldenrod. Belterra shall remain unbeaten and win it by 4 lengths from the wire. And a tight photo for second, either Lotta Rhythm or Take Charge Lady in 1:43 4.
Belterra remains undefeated, broke her maiden first asking, and then went through allowance conditions very handily, and here takes on stakes company, including Take Charge Lady, who had been a pretty good Kentucky and Midwest 2-year-old earlier on this season. Ran in the Breeders' Cup last time out, comes up a bit short as Belterra is able to run by him in a very impressive effort here by 4.5 lengths as the second choice, both the top 2 finishers going off at $1.20 to 1. More money just by a couple of dollars going on Take Charge Lady, who has to settle for second and nose over Lotta Rhythm, who top of the stretch appeared to be beaten and ended up rallying from within striking position. Belterra, very impressive effort over the slop, has now won on both good surface, a fast track, as well as the slop. Handled it very professionally. She is a 2-year-old bay daughter of Unbridled from Cruising Haven by Shelter Half. Bred in Kentucky by Robert T. Manfuso. She is owned by Mr. Manfuso and trained by Carl Navsker. Ridden to victory by John Court. Belterra completes the mile and a 16th of the Goldenrod in 1:43 4. The Colts finish up the season with their Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes, a Grade 2, once again $200,000. 4 juveniles going a mile and a 16th. Let's head back down to Churchill once more for the year for the running of the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes.
Off and running in the Kentucky Jockey Club. Picture perfect start. Request for Parole. Springs out on top to a short lead. There goes Sky Terrace. He'll take over and cross over from the far outside. High Star in behind him. Gold Dollar next up the inside, followed by Rylestone. And the favorite Repent at the back of the pack around the opening turn. It's Sky Terrace and Craig Perret looking to back the field up. Takes a nice hold in front by 2. He Request for Parole skims the rail. Second, High Star racing third. Rylestone moves up 3 wide in fourth, and Gold Dollar Repent continues at the back of the pack. 6 lengths off the pace. The opening quarter in a moderate 24 seconds flat for Sky Terrace, trying to take him all the way. Opening up by nearly 3 to High Star, second Rylestone, 3 wide up into third, and Request for Parole racing in fourth as the favorite Repent takes the 5th spot now, 4.5 lengths off the pace and inching his way up into the race, and Gold Dollar is at the back of the pack, just 6 lengths front to back, the half mile in 47 4, moving for the far turn. It's Sky Terrace still clear by 2 to long shot High Star up into second now, then Request for Parole on the inside. outside, races third. Milestone has the favor. Repent bottled up at the moment. And too far back to Gold Dollar at the back of the pack. Around the turn, running for the quarter pole. Sky Terrace in front by 2. The Request for Parole in second. High Star third. Milestone's racing in fourth. Repent. Tony D'Amico asks the question now. Too far back to Gold Dollar at the back of the pack, passing the quarter pole. It's Sky Terrace once again. Craig Perret leading it by 2. Repent gets going up the inside. He's coming fast now. Then Request for Parole. Far outside. Milestone down to the final furlong. Here comes Repent, kicking it into high gear up the inside fence. Repent is coming fast. He's up to take the lead from Request for Parole. Repent, Request for Parole on the outside coming fast. Repent gets up to win the Kentucky Jockey Club. He won it going away. Then Request for Parole second, and High Star was third and 144 and 2.
Repent coming back off of a very impressive and much noted second place finish to Johannesburg in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Slips through on the inside under Anthony D'Amico. Did have a couple of problems at the top of the stretch. He was really pinned in rather badly, ran up against a couple of horses that were tiring and ended up having to double back and change his path more than once in the stretch, but gets through for a length and a quarter victory at odds on from Request for Parole, who had been a very impressive Chicago Juvenile earlier this season, who stalked the early pace. Sky Terrace. High Star rallies from another run, rallying from just off the pace in a stalking position, a little bit on the wide side in a field of 6. He ended up about 6 wide at the top of the stretch as they were all fanning out, and the early pace setters did end up just ducking a little bit wide, setting it up for the rail move of Repent. The winner, a 2-year-old dark bay or brown son of First Crop Stallion Classic winner Louis Couture's out of Baby Grace by Sapaio, was bred in Kentucky by the Tailor Made Farm. He is owned by the Select Stable and trained by Kenny McPeak. Ridden to victory by Anthony D'Amico, Repent completes the mile in the 16th on a certainly a very sloppy track, a track that actually was yielding rather slow times in 144 and 2. We are going to pause now for a brief message, and when we return, we'll be taking a look at Turf Stakes racing action from the Turf Festival at Hollywood Park. Please stay tuned.
This year, many thoroughbreds, no longer able to compete, will join the ranks of racing's homeless. The Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation and its supporters have been providing help and hope, creating opportunities where once there were none. The TRF, together with the racing industry, is meeting the challenge, taking care of their own. With your help, we can continue our saving mission, ensuring many more horses the welcome home they so richly deserve.
Welcome back to Horses and Courses, everyone. Next, we're going to be heading to Hollywood Park for the Turf Festival, annually run around the Thanksgiving holiday. We're going to kick things off with Friday's running of the Miesk for 2-year-old fillies. It's a Grade 3, $200,000 event for juvenile fillies going a mile on the turf. Let's head to Southern California for the running of the Miesk.
They're off. Lady George and Stylistic show speed, 40 online, and Risk Averse are close up. Daisy Ago and Film Critic wide. Fartha Amiga and La Martina are next. Then comes Red Little Lies, and the early trailer is Arabic Song. 40 online and Lady George set a sensible pace to the backstretch, and now 40 online will take command. She leads by a length and a quarter from Lady George. Between horses Risk Averse and 3 deep, it's Stylistic. A length and a half further back to Film Critic, 5th and 4 from the front. La Martina just inside of her. Daisy Ago is at the rail. She has 6 lengths to make up with Fartha Amiga just outside of her. Red Little Lies is 9 from the front, and then it's 5 lengths back to the trailer. Arabic Song, they're midway on the backstretch in the 11th running of the Miesk. 40 online, a half mile from the wire, leads by a length and a quarter from Risk Averse and Stylistic, who track her 2nd and 3rd. Lady George is at the rail 4th. La Martina between horses with Film Critic 3 wide leaving the backstretch. La Martina and Film Critic 4 from the front, which is held by 40 online. Fartha Amiga and Daisy Ago have 6 lengths to make up. Then Red Little Lies, Arabic Song still trails, and 40 online at the quarter pole is the leader. It is 40 online. Lady George moves through from the inside. Risk Averse now 2.5 off the lead. La Martina is next to the outside. Daisy Ago with a nice run. Here's Daisy Ago and Red Little Lies, but it's still 40 online. 40 online leads Daisy Ago by 2.5 lengths. Risk Averse through from the inside. 40 online reaching for the wire. Daisy Ago and Risk Averse cutting into the margin. 40 online, Risk Averse, 40 online, yes!
named after one of the great European miling mares, at 49 online, a European bred, making her second start here in the United States. Victoria is now 2 for 2 here in the U.S., a front-running victory at 20-1 off of a maiden win, defeating Risk Averse, who had been victorious in Stakes Company in New York only a couple of weeks earlier. Risk Averse getting a nice stalking trip, unable to match the winner late. Daisy Ago rallying from off the pace into the third spot. She had been fairly forwardly placed after the break and dropped back a little bit, re-rallying very nicely. The winner, though, 49 online, very impressive, daughter of Farley from Charming Bride by Charmer, a 2-year-old chestnut bred in Great Britain by the Old Mill Stud, now owned by Cohen, Sigband, Ulmer et al., and trained by Bob Hess Jr. Ridden to victory by Corey Nakatani, 40 online, completes the 1 mile of the Miesk in 1:36.1. Sprinters on the grass next with the Hollywood Turf Express, a Grade 3 $200,000 sprint for 3-year-olds and up, 5.5 furlongs the distance. Let's head back to Hollywood for the Hollywood Turf Express.
They're off. Perfect start. Rocky Bar in Gibson County, Texas Glitter and Devil's Roar and Lexicon between horses, and Rocky Bar out sprints them up the backstretch. He's a length in front. Trail the Fox is next, then Speak in Passing and Nuclear Debate, followed by Swept Overboard, and the trailer is Blue Air Force. It is long shot Rocky Bar as he fires into the far turn. He's in front of Texas Glitter by a solid 2 lengths. Devil's Roar races in third with Gibson County at the rail 4th and 4 from the front-running Rocky Bar. Speak in Passing makes a middle move, and here's Speak in Passing in the pink cap. He draws within 5 of the lead. He's past Lexicon. 2.5 lengths to Nuclear Debate in the white. He draws within 6 of the lead. Trail the Fox is next. Swept Overboard and Blue Air Force have 10 to make up in the final quarter of a mile of the Hollywood Turf Express, and Rocky Bar gets joined by Texas Glitter. Speak in Passing in with a good chance. Nuclear Debate is set down for the final furlong. Swept Overboard and Blue Air Force still have 5 to come. Speak in Passing and Texas Glitter, these two. Here comes Swept Overboard from the back of the pack. Speak in Passing, Swept Overboard trying to get him. Speak in Passing, Swept Overboard right together.
Swept Overboard, last seen finishing a very impressive 4th, in the sprint in Breeders' Cup competition, rallying nicely down inside. This time makes his move on the turf, coming out in the stretch and closing with a big rush to get up for it by a nose over Speak in Passing, who appeared to have it won. Blue Air Force rallies from far, far back, picking up the 3rd spot here. One of the early pace setters, familiar face in New York, Texas Glitter. Aaron Greider was out for the ride, picked up the 2nd spot after being involved, stalking every step of the way in the early going. The winner, Swept Overboard, who has quietly become one of the best sprinters, both dirt and turf, in the United States, is a 4-year-old Grey or Roan son of N Sweet from Sheer Ice by Cutlass. Bred in Florida by Harry T. Mangurian Jr., he is owned by John Paul Redham and trained by Craig DeLossie. Ridden to victory by Eddie Della Houssaye. Swept Overboard completes the 5.5 furlongs in the Hollywood Turf Express in 1:01.4. Next, we're going to be taking a look at the Generous Stakes run on Saturday. This is a Grade 3 counterpart to the Mieskets for 2-year-old colts and geldings, going a flat mile for $200,000 and Grade 3 credentials. Let's head back out to Hollywood for the running of the Generous.
They're off. Ecstatic and Kith show speed. Pax Tecum is close up. These 3 are quickest. Mountain Rage and National Park are next. Miesk's Approval is 4 wide at the clubhouse turn. Red Briar comes away second to last, and the early trailer is Hot Trotter. They go to the backstretch now, and at the rail, it's Pax Tecum just outside of him is Kith, and these two are matching strides. Pax Tecum and Kith to the backstretch. Kith ahead in front. Now 3.5 lengths to Ecstatic and Mountain Rage. They are together 3rd and 4th. Here's an early move from Miesk's Approval, and he tugs his way up into 5th. Miesk's Approval is traveling very well mid-pack, about 5 from the front. National Park and Red Briar are next, and then it's 6 lengths back to Hot Trotter as they're midway on the backstretch in the 20th Generous Stakes, and Kith has taken command. He has put Pax Tecum a length and 3/4 back in second. Now Pax Tecum going to re-engage, and Pax Tecum has come to the outside of Kith, and he's right back into the bit, and Pax Tecum's back in front by a head. Kith is second. Miesk's Approval has advanced to 3rd. He's 2 from the front in striking position. The whip is out on Mountain Rage. Red Briar is at the rail, 3.5 lengths off the lead, with National Park next, then Ecstatic, and the trailer is Hot Trotter, and the leader is Pax Tecum. Pax Tecum off the top of the turn, leads by a length and 1/4. Miesk's Approval has the length of the stretch to get get by, and here he comes. Miesque's Approval fires to the lead. Miesque's Approval in front. Paxticum can't go. To the inside, Mountain Rage, then National Park, but it's Miesque's Approval in front. Mountain Rage going to try to get him down on the money. Miesque's Approval reaching for the wire. Mountain Rage going to make it a nose photo. Mountain Rage, Miesque's Approval. Mountain Rage got him. Mountain Rage ran down Miesque's Approval and nailed him on the money in the generous.
Mountain Rage picking up a nice win inside of Miesque's Approval, was involved stalking the pace in the early going, slipped up in the lane. Miesque's Approval made his move outside of horses and was just caught late by Mountain Rage, who ran very impressively inside of horses for a 2-year-old. This third place finisher, National Park, a British-bred horse, rallied very nicely between horses and made a bit of a belated move into the third spot. The winner, Mountain Rage, is a gray or roan 2-year-old son of Meki from Sweet Silver Star by Silver Buck. Bred in Florida by the Brambly Lane Farm, he is now owned by Natalie and Jacob Moss and trained by Bob Baffert. You recognize the blue shadow roll on his face. Ridden to victory by David Flores. Generous Stakes winner Mountain Rage completes the flat mile in 1:40.1. Continuing with stakes racing action on the turf at Hollywood Park, the Citation for 3-year-olds and up. Grade 2, $500,000 event going 1 1/16 on the grass. Unfortunately, because of rains that prevailed throughout Southern California, the track was labeled good. The race was run in the middle of a rainstorm, and it did unfortunately suffer from the scratch of, amongst others, Val Royale, who was the victor in the Breeders' Cup Mile, as well as Fighting Falcon, Takarian, Purely Cozine, and Lord Jim, all pretty competitive horses. Nonetheless, an 8-horse field still went into the gate. Let's head out to Hollywood for the running of Saturday's Citation.
They're off. Fast start for El Cielo, and I've decided they go right for the front. Irish Prize and DeCarchi are next. Then comes Good Journey and Seraphan. Native Desert has one beat in the early running. It is Quake as they go into the clubhouse turn. It will be El Cielo to set the pace. He's 2 lengths in front of I've Decided. DeCarchi moves through from the inside, and there goes DeCarchi to take second. He's after El Cielo to the backstretch. Irish Prize races in fourth. He's 2.5 lengths off the lead. Then it's a gap of 3 back to Good Journey and Seraphan. They both have 6 lengths to make up. 1.5 lengths to Quake, and now Native Desert is the trailer as they head up the backstretch in the 25th running of the Citation, and it is El Cielo 5 furlongs from home. DeCarchi closer now in second. El Cielo still the boss past the 4.5 furlong marker. It is DeCarchi, no excuses for him. I've Decided races in third. Down at the rail, Irish Prize bides his time in fourth. 2.5 to Good Journey in fifth. Seraphan is sixth at this point and 7 off the lead. He's just been passed by Quake, and there goes Quake past Seraphan. Native Desert is still the trailer. There's 3 furlongs to run in the Citation. El Cielo and DeCarchi are still 1-2. El Cielo to the quarter pole in front by 1.25 lengths. DeCarchi races in second. To the outside, Good Journey is traveling beautifully, and here comes Good Journey on the move. Irish Prize is at the rail. Then I've Decided in Quake. Seraphan pulled up at the back of the pack. Here comes Good Journey 3 wide, and he's on the move. DeCarchi gonna go right with him. These 2. El Cielo's back in third, and Irish Prize. It is Good Journey and DeCarchi, and they are even. A 1/16 of a mile from the wire. Good Journey ahead in front. DeCarchi can't quite go with them, and Good Journey has won the Citation.
Good Journey ends up going off as one of the favorites as part of the entry. However, I don't think he was the horse they were betting on. Rallies very nicely and just gets up by about a 1/2 length over one of the early pace setters, early pace pressure in this race. DeCarchi. Following him was Irish Prize, who sat a perfect stalking trip but was still unable to really end up kicking in as we have seen him do in the early portion of this season. He may have just lost a step after having had a fairly long campaign. Good Journey, however, a very impressive effort. He had not been victorious since winning an allowance company almost a year ago. The winner, Good Journey, is a 5-year-old chestnut horse by Nureyev from Chimes of Freedom by private account. Bred in Kentucky by the Flaxman Holdings, is owned by Flaxman Holdings Limited, trained by Wally DeLassy and ridden to victory by Chris McCarron. Good Journey completes the mile and a 16th. The turf course labeled good, but it was actually quite soft by that time, 1:44.1. Sunday featured another pair of stakes races, beginning with the Matriarch Grade 1 event for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares going 1 1/8 miles on the turf course. Let's head out to Hollywood for the running of Sunday's Matriarch.
They're off. Good start. Lethal's Lady and Varuma show speed. Free for Racing and Crystal Music at the rails. Starine is into the bid early, and Crystal Music squirts through and takes over the lead. Gino Spirits is next, then Aldecima and Janet, followed by Golden Apples and Bois Morant. Spook Express has one beat in the early running. That's Baldwina, and Crystal Music is the leader into the clubhouse turn. It is Crystal Music to set the fractions from Starine, who races up in second. Crystal Music leads by 2 lengths. Starine is second by 1 length, with Lethal's Lady at the rail in third. Free for Racing secures a good running position. She's fourth and 5 from the front running Crystal Music. They're 6 furlongs from the wire. Gino Spirits just outside of her. Then 2 lengths to Aldecima and Janet. They're together mid-pack and 8 off the lead. Golden Apples and Varuma are next. They both have 10 lengths to make up. Spook Express is 11 from the front. Bois Morant is just behind her, and the trailer is Baldwina, midway on the backstretch in the 21st running of the Matriarch. It is Crystal Music trying to go it all the way. She goes by the half-mile pole in command by 1.5 lengths from Starine, who continues to track in second. Lethal's Lady is third and 2.5 lengths off the lead. Free for Racing is now pushed along. Gino Spirits outside of her. Janet moves through from the inside. Here's Janet in the red, could soon be into fourth. Aldecima is next. Golden Apple still has 9 lengths to make up. At the top of the stretch, Starine is making her move. Spook Express unwinds, still 8 from the front, and they head for home in the Matriarch. There goes Starine outside of Crystal Music, and Starine strikes right now to the front. It is Starine in command. Lethal's Lady runs up into second. Crystal Music is next. Golden Apples unleashes a furious run, but she's 3 from the front running Starine. Starine reaches for the final 70 yards. Lethal's Lady and Golden Apples can't catch the winner, Starine!
Starine sitting a perfect trip just behind the early pace setter Crystal Music, and just pouncing at the top of the stretch, drawing off nicely 2.5 lengths the better of Lethal's Lady, who sat a nice trip just off of the early pace setters with a stalking trip, ends up in the second spot as Golden Apples was rallying in her usual style from far, far back, but mounted her move just a little bit too late to get the show spot. Was certainly no match for the older Starine at this point, although a very impressive effort. As the favorite, this 3-year-old filly had been very, very sharp since arriving in the States. Unfortunately, this race was marred by the fall of Spook Express late in the race. As a matter of fact, just prior to the finish wire, unfortunately, I do have to bring you the sad news that she did have to be euthanized following the fall, apparently suffering a massive fracture to her front leg. I believe it was an ankle, and she was unfortunately euthanized on the racetrack. That certainly is very tragic news to have to bring about any horse, but particularly Spook Express, a very much favorite horse. She was a champion in her native South Africa at the age of 3. I know that Mr. Skiffington had suffered through a number of problems with this mare, physical ailments and so forth, finally got her back into outstanding form. She had just finished second in the Breeders' Cup Filly or Mare Turf in a very nice effort that day, and I'm sure will be missed by both her fans and her close connections. Bobby Frankel, trainer and owner of Starine, was absolutely devastated following the race. In fact, declined to speak to anybody as far as interviews and so forth, indicating that he was just too choked up about the loss of Spook Express at the end of this race. But terrific effort by Starine, who I believe is now undefeated at 9 furlongs in the United States. Very impressive effort. John Velasquez had a terrific weekend this weekend. When we look at New York, we'll see how well he rode here over the winter or over the weekend as well. Starine is a 4-year-old gray or roan daughter of Mendocino from Grisanante by Caldoun. Bred in France by Madame Catherine Dubois, owned and trained by Bobby Frankel, ridden to victory by Johnny V. Starine completes the 1 1/8 miles on a turf course labeled yielding in 150 flat. Final stakes race of the weekend at Hollywood Park, the Hollywood Derby, a Grade 1 $500,000 event for 3-year-olds going 1 1/8 miles on the turf. There was a time when the Hollywood Derby was one of the final preps in California for the Kentucky Derby. They decided to move it back to the end of the year, run it on the turf, and it has really become a major race, a race for which a lot of horses are particularly pointed. Let's head out to Hollywood for the running of the Hollywood Derby.
They're at the post. They're off. Indigo Shiner and Western Pride with Sligo Bay and C2C all close up. Tiger Trap is tightly between horses. Homeland had to check off heels, as did Danon, and they both shuffled themselves back. Leering at Kathy is next, then Strategic Partner. Then it's 2 lengths back to Blue Stellar and Aldebaran, and the early trailer is StarTac. It is Western Pride. In front into the clubhouse turn, Dana Whitney and Western Pride will set the fractions. He's 2 lengths in front of Sligo Bay racing in second. Tiger Trap is at the rail third with C2C just outside of him, and on the front end, 6 furlongs from the wire, Western Pride is the boss by 3 lengths. Indigo Shiner is in the 3 path. He is clear and 5.5 lengths off the lead with Danon at the rail. Leering at Kathy is between horses. They're together, and 6 from Western Pride, who flies up the backstretch. Homeland is at the rail with Strategic Partner just outside of him. Aldebaran has 9 lengths to make up. 2 back to Blue Stellar and StarTac. 11 lengths from first to last. They're a half mile from the wire in the 61st Hollywood Derby. It is Western Pride trying to go it all the way. Sligo Bay is closer now in second. Western Pride leads 3/4 of a length. Sligo Bay in striking position second. Tiger Trap bides his time at the rail in third. Danon in perfect striking position. No excuses for Danon. Aldebaran swings up 4 wide. He's about to take 5th. Leering at Kathy is at the rail. Then comes Strategic Partner. Blue Stellar is 8 from the front. Indigo Shiner has dropped out of it with C2C, and they head for home. And here comes Sligo Bay. Sligo Bay slingshots to the lead. Western Pride under the whip at the rail. Danon set down for the final furlong. Aldebaran to the outside, and Sligo Bay gonna have to hold off the Frankel entry of Danon and Aldebaran, and here comes Danon. Danon has taken over the lead. Sligo Bay back to second. Danon wins the Hollywood Derby.
Danon picking up a very impressive win here by about a length, but fairly well in hand from Sligo Bay and Aldebaran. His stablemate Aldebaran had arrived in the U.S. Shortly before the Breeders' Cup and ran and won the Nassau in New York at a mile on the day after the Breeders' Cup. Danon, who was in a little bit tight early, ended up rallying very nicely under Chris McCarron. Sligo Bay, who had run some good ones on the turf out in the West Coast throughout most of the season, picking up the 2nd spot after a stalking trip behind pace setter Western Pride. The winner in here, Danon, is a 3-year-old bay colt, son of Pleasant Colony from Aviance by Northfields. In fact, this horse is very closely related to Good Journey. His dam, Aviance, is a half to the dam of Good Journey. Good Journey is also a half to Aldebaran, so all in the family out there in the Hollywood stakes races on the turf this weekend. The winner was bred in Kentucky by Flaxman Holdings, owned by Flaxman Holdings and Edmund Gann, trained by Bobby Frankel and ridden to victory by Chris McCarron. Danon completes the 1 1/8 on the turf course at Hollywood Park, which by this point was also labeled the Yielding. Final time, 1:49.1. That does wrap up the weekend at Hollywood Park, and we are going to take another brief break for a message. And when we return, we'll be taking a look at the stakes features from Aqueduct. They ran their Holiday Fest. It was a terrific weekend of racing in New York. We're going to take a brief break, and I'll see you in just a moment.
Children and adults with disabilities are finding new freedom through horseback riding. For more information on programs and centers near you, contact NARA at 1-800-369-RIDE.
Welcome back to Horses and Courses, everyone. Next, we're going to be finishing off the weekend stakes racing action from Aqueduct, beginning last Thursday with the Fall Highway to handicap, a Grade 2 $100,000 event. 3-year-olds and up sprinting 6 furlongs with the novelty of the horses in here carrying extraordinarily high weights. I believe 123 pounds assigned to Voodoo was the lightweight in this race. Let's head down to Aqueduct for the running of last Thursday's Fall High Weight.
And they're off. Silky Sweep off to a good start. And there goes In CC's Honor. In CC's Honor up to take the lead. Voodoo now second on the inside. At the rail, Yanaguska has come away third. Bayhead King is fourth. Silky Sweep shuffled back to fifth. Big EE 4 wide. Istingtage 5 wide. Nunzio is the last of them all. Racing for the half-mile pole. In CC's Honor through a 1/4 in 22 2/5 seconds. Voodoo coming hard now. Yanaguska has taken to the outside for a clear shot at the lead. Those three across the track with 3 furlongs to go now, and it's 2 lengths back to Bayhead King. Istine Taj has come on through. The big EE there on the far outside. Silky Sweep second last. Nunzio trails the field as the field turns for home. Voodoo Yanaguska, and they brush at the top of the stretch. Bayhead King swings into action on the far outside. The big EE. Istine Taj trying to find his way through. Silky Sweep is coming through an opening on the inside. Nothing left for Cece's Honor. Yanaguska head-to-head with Voodoo. Big EE. Silky Sweep at the rail. Yanaguska got it.
Yanaguska picking up his second consecutive stakes win here in New York off a victory in the Sport Page on the undercard of the Breeders' Cup. He goes into the fall high weight as the favorite, picks up a 3/4 length victory, showing good speed 3 wide every step of the way, beating Big EE, who finished with a nice wide flourish. Voodoo, involved in the early pace, hangs on for the 3rd spot under 123 pounds, the lightweight in this field of 8. The winner, Yanaguska, a 3-year-old dark bay or brown colt by Cherokee Run from Marital Spook by Silver Ghost, bred in Kentucky by Mr. Edward P. Evans. He is owned by Michael Tabor, ridden to and trained by D. Wayne Lucas, ridden to victory by Jose Santos. Yanaguska completes the 6 furlongs of the fall high weight in 1:09 and 3. Fillies and mares on the card for the day after Thanksgiving with the Delta Airlines Top Flight Grade 2 $150,000 flat mile event for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares. Let's head back down to Aqueduct for the running of the Top Flight.
And they're off. AOL Hayes and Tugger strikes out for the lead early. Tugger to the lead. AOL Hayes is away running second, and Zonk comes up on the rail from 3rd. And then it's Latour. Shiny Band's 5th in between horses. Maddie May is 6th. Artie's Virginia Girl 7th on the outside. At the back of the pack early are Atelier and Cat K, and those two about 8 lengths from the leader. The leader is Tugger, who gets a quarter there in 23 seconds flat. Honest enough. Tugger leads now by almost 2 lengths with AOL Hayes 2nd. Zonk down inside races 3rd. Shiny Band rates between horses 4th. On the far outside, Maddie May in the clear in 5th, followed by Latour, who loses a spot or 2 to race back in 6th. Atelier's on the inside of Artie's Virginia Girl. Cat K's just loping along while last. The half in 46 and 3/5 seconds. They're rounding the far turn. It's still Tugger blazing the way. Zonk now making her move. Here comes Maddie May with a rush. Maddie May with a rush on the far outside. AOL Hayes is right there. Shiny Band takes to the inside. Cat K is gathering momentum as the field turns for home at the top of the stretch. It's Zonk, Maddie May, and Tugger. Cat K continues to roll up on the rail. AOL Hayes fades to 5th. There's a furlong to go. Cat K driving up on the inside. Tugger fights on. Zonk gives way. Cat K, Tugger. Tugger and Cat K to duel it coming down to the line. Atelier, too late. They're coming down to the finish. Tugger, Cat K. Cat K got it. Cat K got it by a nose over Tugger. Atelier was 3rd.
Cat Key just getting up there in the shadow of the wire, beating Tugger, who was extremely game on the top of the stretch. Looked like she might have been ready to fold up, but she fights back very nicely and holds on at only a head behind eventual winner Cat Key, as Hellier took a little bit of time, a little more time than her stablemate Cat Key to get kicked into high gear, snuck through on the inside, finishing in the 3rd spot as the favorite, but just a testament to the kind of meet that Shug McGahee is having here. His favorite ran 3rd, but his second choice in here ran to the victory. Ridden by who else? John Velasquez. Cat Key completes the race here in a very fine fashion. She is a 4-year-old filly who earned her first graded stakes credentials last time out down in Kentucky in the Thoroughbred Club of America. Returns to New York with another graded stakes victory. Cat Key is a 4-year-old bay daughter of Pleasant Colony from Cadillacing by Alazar. Bred in Kentucky by the Phipps stable. She is owned by Mr. Ogden Phipps and trained by Shug McGahee. Ridden to victory by who else? John Velasquez. Cat Key completes the 1 mile of the Delta Airlines Top Flight in 1:35 and 2. Next, we're going to be heading down to New York for the running of the Demoiselle on Saturday. Grade 2, $200,000 event for 2-year-old fillies going 1 1/8 miles. Let's head to New York for the running of the Demoiselle.
And they're off. with Smokin' Frolic and Hanging by a Moment. Hanging by a Moment down on the rail, and Smokin' Frolic as they move into the clubhouse turn. Then it's Blissful Kiss. Saintly Action will be hung up very wide going into the turn. Saintly Action now moving up toward the leader, Smokin' Frolic. Smokin' Frolic leads by a length. Saintly Action on the far outside second. Hanging by a Moment on the inside third. Blissful Kiss between horses fourth. Proxy Statement and a bit of traffic. A little tight there for Proxy Statement. 3 wide round the first turn, fifth by 2. Then Lady Sherry at 2 lengths back to Water Rights, who trails the field. Smokin' Frolic the leader. Just in behind Saintly Action, Hanging by a Moment, and Blissful Kiss. The first quarter in 24 1/5 seconds. They continue the run down the back stretch. Smokin' Frolic still leads them. Saintly Action hanging back there second. Hanging by a Moment down on the rail, a ground-saving third. Blissful Kiss is fourth after a half in 48 3. On the far outside, Proxy Statement in the clear and kept relatively close to the pace, followed by Lady Sherry, and Water Rights is the trailer. Water Rights now being asked for a bit more there by Chavez as the field moves into the far turn. Around the far turn, it's still Smokin' Frolic now as Saintly Action turns up the pressure with 3 furlongs remaining. They've run 3 quarters in 1:13 2. It is still Smokin' Frolic holding that lead. Saintly Action's been in a drive for a quarter mile and is now almost 2 lengths behind. Farther back, Blissful Kiss is running in third. Proxy Statement in a full-out drive. Switch to the outside fourth. Farther back, Lady Sherry is fifth. Down to the last furlong, and Smokin' Frolic has something left. Smokin' Frolic has plenty left. Drawing away, running away from them all. She'll be a much the best winner. A good battle for a second between Lady Sherry and Proxy Statement. The no doubt about it winner was Smokin' Frolic by 5 on the wire.
Smokin' Frolic, she's been around all season long. You can't complain that this one hasn't raced. She began her career early in the spring and has lasted quite well. 4.5 lengths the better of Lady Sherry and Proxy Statement, who are duking it out for the second spot. Lady Sherry just able to make that mount that last rally after a stumbling start, finishing wide to pick up the second spot. Proxy Statement made a bit of a middle move, perhaps moved a little bit too early in here in her first try against Stakes Company, finishing in the third spot. Smokin' Frolic, victorious in the Tempted in her prior start, comes back here as the favorite with a very impressive front-end victory. They went out a little bit slowly. John Velasquez sets a slow pace and has enough left to kick home quickly. The winner, Smokin' Frolic, a 2-year-old gray or roan daughter of Smoke Glacken from Cherokee. Frolic Flash by Green Dancer. She was foaled in Florida and bred by the Cherokee Farm, owned now by Dogwood Stable and trained by Todd Pletcher. In fact, her older brother, Ab Soroka, also won on the card, making it a very good day, I'm sure, for the Cherokee Farms connection. Smokin' Frolic, ridden to victory by, if it's a stakes race, it's run in New York. It's won by John Velasquez. Jerry Bailey heads to Japan for the weekend, and John Velasquez runs the table in New York. The final time for the Demoiselle, won for 1 1/8 miles, 1:50 and 2. Stakes racing continued in New York with the Remsen, the grade 2 equivalent of the Demoiselle for males, once again going 1 1/8 miles at Aqueduct. Let's head back down to the Big A for the running of the Remsen.
And they're off. Jewel Bandit stumbled badly at the start, cost him dearly. It's Monthier who comes out in stride after the lead. Seat Open trying to hold his spot at the rail, and Seat Open drives through on the inside to take a narrow early lead from Monthier. Robin's Beauty on the far outside, Right to Refuse hugs the rail third. Robin's Beauty is 3 wide fourth. Nokoma's now fifth. And then it's Listen Here, followed by Sarland, Silent Fred at the back, and that awkward break cost Jewel Bandit now the trailer. The opening quarter was a solid one of 23 4/5 seconds. Seat Open will take the field down the back stretch run, but Monthier is coming up to him. Robin's Beauty very eager on the outside, in hand, racing third. And that's Right to Refuse fourth toward the inside. Nokoma's settled into a nice rhythm, running along fifth, about 4.5 lengths from front running Seat Open. Then it's Listen Here. Sarland allowed to settle, still about 7 or 8 lengths from the lead as they approach the half-mile pole. To his outside, Silent Fred. Jewel Bandit the trailer, the half in 48 1/5 seconds. And now the field enters the far turn. Seat Open. There goes Monthier. There goes Robin's Beauty. The 3 of them across the track now. Robin's Beauty has taken the lead. It's Robin's Beauty in front with 3 furlongs to go. On the inside, Monthier trying to stay with Robin's Beauty, who's running a monstrous race so far. Then on the far outside, Silent Fred is rallying. Listen Here is there. Nakoma right there, too. In behind that group, it's Sarland as the field turns for home. It's Robbins Beauty in front. Castellano goes to work. Nakoma comes charging through in between horses. Silent Fred is there. Sarland on the far outside. Inside the final furlong, Nakoma's now got the lead. Here comes Silent Fred, and Sarland lengthening next stride of his. Here comes Sarland gobbling up ground. Nakoma and Sarland. Here's the wire. Sarland wins.
They were in a little bit tight under the in the shadow of the wire there, but it was Sarland who was able to get up by a neck over a very game Nakoma, who rallied between horses after a stalking trip in his first try against Stakes Company. Silent Fred appeared to, he was running quite greenly and appeared to duck rather dramatically on the initial investigation. It did appear that Sarland might have bumped him, but upon looking closely at it, it did appear that he simply spooked as Sarland was rather descending upon him from far, far back into the victory. Silent Fred has to settle for third after spooking just a little bit in the final 16th of a mile. The winner, Sarland, coming out of a disappointing effort in the Breeders' Cup, had already stretched out fairly competitively. 2 races back in the Champagne, had lost all chance when stumbling at the beginning of the race. Does seem to be a stone-cold closer. They may want to try and put a little more speed into this horse, but so far he hasn't done a whole lot wrong in his career, picking up stakes-winning credentials here in the Remsen. Sarland is a 2-year-old bay colt by Unbridled from one of the top and rather underrated race mares of her day, Versailles Treaty, a daughter of Danzig. She was bred in Kentucky by Cynthia Phipps, owned by Cynthia Phipps, and trained by Shug McGahee. Ridden to victory by, need I say it again, John Velasquez. Sarland completes the 1 1/8 of the Remsen in 1:51.1. The final stakes, Grade 1 stakes race of the New York season is the Cigar Mile. Grade 1, $350,000 event. 3-year-olds and up going a flat mile. Let's head back down to New York for the running of the Cigar Mile.
And they're off. Left bank like a rocket right out of the gate. Graham Hall there on the outside. Valponi's between those two. There goes A Firm Success after the lead. And Illusion is right with A Firm Success, and the rest as the field moves up the backstretch. Illusion's come through on the inside to get a narrow lead. A Firm Success is right there. So too Left Bank, so too Valponi, and so too Graham Hall. 5 of them across the track early, with Peeping Tom drafting in behind them 6th. Then it's Capsize 7th and Red Bullet is 8th. Ticket to Freedom trails the field as that scramble for the lead continues down the backstretch. The opening quarter in 23 2/5 seconds. Left Bank and A Firm Success, and those two going at it, and they're picking up the tempo as they move for the half-mile pole. Graham Hall is now 3rd on the outside. Valponi kept within close striking range in between horses. Illusion is now 5th toward the inside. Peeping Tom 6th on the rail. Red Bullet still about 5.5 from the lead. They ran a half in 45 3/5 seconds. That second quarter there was 22 1. They're rounding the far turn, and the duel continues here between Left Bank and A Firm Success, and they continue to go at it full throttle approaching the top of the stretch. Graham Hall is 3rd. Here's Red Bullet on the far outside 4th. Illusion down toward the inside, tolling in 5th, and Illusion there is being pulled up. Illusion being pulled up. Valponi just in behind the lead. They're coming into the last furlong, and it is Left Bank who shrugs off A Firm Success. Graham Hall, Red Bullet on the outside now 4th. They're coming down to the finish, and it will be Left Bank. John Velasquez on a roll today here. Left Bank the winner by 3.5 lengths. Photo for second between Graham Hall and Red Bullet.
Left Bank leaving them in his wake in a very impressive performance. Picked up a 7-furlong victory in the Vosburg. Ran creditably at 6 in the Breeders' Cup Sprint and returns with a very impressive 3.25 length victory as the favorite over Graham Hall, who seems to finally be developing into the colt Todd Pletcher thought he was going to become. Todd Pletcher running 1-2 here for different owners. Red Bullet rallies into the 3rd spot with a nice wide move. This has been a horse for course on the Aqueduct surface throughout his career. Red Bullet, fairly impressive effort last time out, was rather disappointing. Perhaps he is starting to round back into a little bit better form late in his 4-year-old season. And a very credible performance by Valponi, who was a little closer to the pace than he normally runs and held on quite nicely and picked up the 4th spot. The winner, Left Bank, is a 4-year-old chestnut colt by French Deputy out of Marchessault by Dr. Blum. Bred in Kentucky by John Youngblood and Fletcher Gray. He is owned by Michael Tabor and trained by Todd Pletcher. Ridden to victory by John Velasquez. Left bank completes the 1 mile and the cigar mile in the third fastest time in the history of the race, 1:33.1. One more stakes race on the card for the weekend in New York. That was the Huntington Stakes for 2-year-old sprinters going 6 furlongs, running for $75,000. Let's head back down to the Big A once more for the running of the Huntington.
And they're off. Jay's Wild Slew breaks on top. There goes Saratoga Way. Saratoga Way out for the lead. Jay's Wild Slew is now second. Harmony Hall is now racing third. Then Mr. Kip comes on through between horses, followed by Volleyball, who's now fifth on the rail. Parfy's Legacy, RB's Boy, and Iron Deputy at the back. Saratoga Way opens up by 3. Opening quarter, 22-1. Saratoga Way moving right along here. Mr. Kip picks up the chase second. Harmony Hall is now third. Volleyball fourth toward the inside. Iron Deputy is now fifth. Then farther back in the field, on the inside, RB's Boy followed by Parfy's Legacy as Jay's Wild Slew is dropped back to trail. The field turns for home. Saratoga Way comes wide off the turn. On the inside, here comes Iron Deputy. Iron Deputy gets the lead just outside the 8th pole. Saratoga Way is second as Mr. Kip fights on. And then Volleyball, who's switched to the outside from 4th into the final 16th. Iron Deputy pulls away. Iron Deputy scores an emphatic victory as Volleyball comes on to be second after getting some running room, and Mr. Kip was third.
Iron Deputy, very impressive victor in a maiden race earlier this season, and returns here now in Stakes Company, picking up a 4-length lead at the top, or 2-length lead at the top of the stretch, opening up to 4 lengths after being unhurried in the early going. He rallied 3 wide and just blew this field away. Volleyball picking up the second spot in here as Mr. Kip, who chased the early pace set by Saratoga Way, holds on for the 3rd spot. The winner, Iron Deputy, is a 2-year-old bay son of Silver Deputy from Femme de Fer by Iron Duke. He was bred in Kentucky by Jose Soriano, is owned by John and Susan Moore, trained by Jimmy Jerkins, and ridden to victory by, no, it's not John Velasquez. Remember, he was in California winning the Matriarch on Sunday, ridden to victory instead by Richie Migliori. Iron Deputy completes the 6 furlongs of the Huntington Stakes in a very credible 1:10.1. That wraps up a very busy weekend of stakes racing action from around the country. We hope you've enjoyed the program. Thank you everyone for watching, and we hope you'll be able to join us next week. It'll be a little bit slower week of stakes racing, but we will have, amongst others, the Queens County from New York, as well as the Montauk Ford New York State Breds. Out on the West Coast, it'll be the Hollywood Turf Cup and the Vernon Underwood. We'll also have stakes racing action to bring to you from the fairgrounds, as well as a pair of turf stakes for juveniles in Calder as well. We hope you've enjoyed today's program, and we hope you'll join us next time. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood, and I will see you back here next week.